Intro, easy trails with internet and apple pie is what you wrote.
What did we do on this trip?
Nothing. Or what was the whole point?
What does apple pie, cave paintings, and desert have in common?
Nothing.
That was our weekend trip. I have no idea.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk about Blair Valley, which is in Anza Borrego. And I think what's really great about it is the number of campsites that they have set up around this mountain. There's hiking trails out there. The trail is nice and smooth, so it's got great access to lots of different types of vehicles. Depending upon probably where you are and if you're like shaded by the hills or anything like that, there's like full 5G internet out there as well.
Well, it's good because we need to fill up on the internet memes.
Yes. On this trip, we actually brought a projector and watched football and like it. Yeah, I mean, we don't really camp. Like, we're not like rugged outdoorsmen. We're more like just bring all the comforts of home out to the outdoors.
Well, according to our Instagram poll, it was glamping, so.
Yes. I mean, glamping, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, I'm like a shameless glamper.
I don't care.
Yeah, I do not care. I love having like a TV and like
I mean, the alternative too is just like the way that we do it is instead of going to a bar and spending like $100+ in a night, we spend $100+ on gas and then, you know, go out in the middle of nowhere and then we have free drinks and, you know, football.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's really kind of, there's like a strong juxtaposition between the technology that you bring and then you're just sitting outside.
Yeah, and we did see a lot of stars too.
Yeah, there was a lot of light pollution though. I wouldn't call it like, you know how like when you go out to Joshua Tree or Mojave or some of these places, they have like very low light pollution. Yeah. And so when you take your like astrophotography shot, it looks like night. But yeah, here you're so close to a lot of cities that if you're taking astrophotography, it looks like daylight or like sunset almost, but that's just the lights from the city. Show the photo that I took. It looks like sunset in the photo, but that was at like 10 o'clock at night. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Maybe you should drink a little bit more of your apple cider.
I gotta wait for this apple cider to kick in.
The parts of this trip that we covered was the apple pie. Oh my god. All right. Do you want another one? Maybe later.
No, they don't need to see that part. I gotta wait for this.
I put the divorced housewife special in there. That's like a 2-shot right there for you.
Oh, nice.
We've done Anza Borrego like a billion times at this point. Like at least once or twice every year for the last like 5 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're really used to the area. The drive's pretty, you know, it's like the back of our hand now.
We have like 3 Anza Borrego videos at this point.
I'm sure like everybody's gonna be bored of it.
Yeah.
But this one is on the other side of the park.
So we always end up in Anza Borrego around this time of year because it's the closest warm place to us. We don't like freezing temperatures at night too much. This time was a little bit different. I leaned more into Trails Off-Road and they had really great coverage of Blair Valley. What I really like about Trails Off-Road is that they show you the details of the trail and that can determine where you end up going. So this one was like labeled as super easy and we just wanted kind of a relaxing camping weekend. We weren't looking to really do hardcore off-roading, just the 2 of us.
Yeah.
What I really like about Trails Off-Road is they show you the trail, they give you waypoints of where interesting things are, but then around the waypoints they let you know if there's camping. And what was kind of unique about this one is when you look at the trail, there's like camping almost at every waypoint. Yeah. So that was really promising because we were like, for sure we're gonna get a spot.
And you don't need really that much of a high clearance vehicle anyway. We saw a Prius at the first like half mile.
Yeah, so it's a loop. There's a north entrance and a south entrance, like very close together. And we drove just a little bit to the south entrance, went in, and within the first quarter mile or something like that, that's where most people are gonna stop.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that came nearer to our campsite to check it out, but then they left. And I think it's just because there's so many other options.
Yeah. Well, also they probably thought we were rowdy too when we had the projector screen already on.
Yeah. So they probably saw us, like screening movies out there and shit. Like,
oh, you know what actually is a good question? How do we even power up all that gear? So you have a lot of stuff in your Jeep. So how do we go ahead and like power through all of this? What's your equipment? What do you have?
With power, battery, solar, all of that stuff, the idea is to always go overkill on those things. So it might have been the first trip where we really put the batteries through their paces. We have some portable batteries. You have one, I have one. These are like the Jackery EcoFlow. Those are great because they have a built-in inverter on them. So you can have your AC power. So like the projector, the Starlink, stuff like that. We actually should rewire those to be DC straight.
Just if there's any electricians watching, just don't like really, flip a
If there are electricians watching, then I will say, you understand where I'm coming from, because the power loss to the inverter would just drive you insane.
Sure.
And those 20 watts or whatever that you lose over the course of watt hours that you lose over the course of the night are gonna like.
I'm sure my old college roommate who was an electrician is like just losing his mind right now.
Yeah, the point I'm trying to make is for the projector, the Starlink, both of those things run on DC power.
Yeah.
And what we're doing is we're taking DC power, converting it to AC power, sending it to the object. It takes it from AC power and converts it back into DC power, and then powers the thing. And it's every time you do that, you lose a little bit of your energy. It's just annoying. Like, why am I switching this back and forth and back and forth?
So, I think we're okay.
Where were we? Wait, where were we? Let's back up. So we were talking.
How do we power everything?
How do we power everything? Okay, yeah. So we have the Jackery and we have the EcoFlow. And those are primarily used for things that you have to plug in with like a wall socket or AC power.
Well,
and
let me stop you there too, because like, how do we charge the Jackery and the EcoFlow? You have solar panels for your Jackery.
Yeah.
I don't have solar panels for my EcoFlow.
Yeah.
So we plugged my EcoFlow into your Jackery to get
even worse than that, dude. It was even worse than that. So within the Jeep, I built a house battery in the Jeep. And there's a little cubby in the back and I filled it up with batteries, wired them all together to make this like giant, like 1.5 kilowatt hour battery. That thing is a beast. I've never even come close to draining it on a camping trip because we have solar panels. I can plug the solar panels into that, or I can plug them into the Jackery, or I can plug them into your EcoFlow.
Yeah.
But we wanted to charge all three off of the two panels that we had. So we did this, sorry electricians, if this is dumb, I don't know, but we did this like daisy chain operation where we charge the house battery on the Jeep, plug in the Jackery to the Jeep, and it's just draining the power from the house battery, and then plugged in the EcoFlow into the Jackery. And it was like the end of the chain got filled up first. Yeah. The EcoFlow filled up, then the Jackery filled up, and then the house battery.
It did take like all day to do that.
100%. Yeah.
But like we still had 2 full batteries basically.
3 full batteries.
Yeah, by the end of the day.
Yeah. So we have, quick math in my head, 3 kilowatt hours total across all of that. It's probably not that much if you're thinking out in terms of a house. But when you're camping, that is way too much capacity for anything that we're gonna do. But we were running a Starlink the whole time. We were running projectors. We were charging all the things the whole time.
Had a Sonos out there too for me.
Yeah, we have like surround sound and yeah, so many
The more I think we're talking about this, the more I kind of am embarrassed. Like how much shit we bring.
I'm proud of it, dude. I don't really care. I'm into it.
No, I love it. It's great. But like other people are probably just like that meme with the guy like.
Yeah. I don't. Some people are
purists,
and they're right. Like if you wanna go out there and you wanna have like a unplug, reset your brain, like
sure, yeah.
But we're just those type of guys where it's like there's too much football on, there's just too much going on to like completely unplug.
The idea of relaxing is going to the middle of nowhere, doing the exact same stuff, but completely out of your element.
There's the added benefit of just being outside, fresh air.
Yeah, and like just driving. Like I really do like driving out there, and it's like seeing a bunch of beautiful things that you can't get from an 85-inch LCD TV.
Yeah.
Well, so we had 100%.
Yeah, 100-inch projector. Yes, let's talk about hiking.
There's hiking trails out there. So there are 3 hiking trails, 2 around Ghost Mountain, where a fellow Mr. South, I don't know too much about the story of this guy. I'll leave it up to you guys to investigate if you're going out there. Just let's put the map in. We'll show them where it is. I think a little bit further east, there is a hiking trail called the Pictograph Trail, and this one in particular has like significant cultural value, I'd assume, to the native people of the land. First of all, it's a beautiful trail. That was a really nice hiking trail, like 3 miles out and back.
The end of that trail is worth everything.
Yeah, it terminates in this beautiful little canyon cliff, and then it overlooks the full majesty of the state park. So when you get to this view, you don't see any humanity. It's just all the desert, it's just all the preserved state park area, so it's really cool.
To that point too, like the video doesn't do it justice when you're actually out there. It's like seeing a photo of the Grand Canyon versus seeing it in real life. It's incredible, the distance, the draw, like everything, the elevation that you're actually at that you can't really capture on any camera. Like it was well worth the 3.5-hour drive it took us to get there, out there and just hanging out for a couple of days. It was awesome.
We didn't even talk about the pictographs.
No.
So I don't think we would have even seen them if it wasn't for these 2 guys that we ran into when we were walking out there. Pointed out the pictographs to us.
It was like they're right there, and we were like right there, like passing them.
I think we were kind of expecting them all to be at the end.
Yeah.
And it turns out they're not at the end.
It's like in the very middle.
It's in the very middle, yeah. So really cool that we ended up spotting them.
And we only found one because like at the trailhead, it kind of alludes to like there's multiple, but we only saw one. So we don't know if there's like more of them and we're just complete idiots. You know, again, your mileage may vary. Maybe you're a lot better hiking than we are, but it wouldn't put it past me if we missed like a bigger one or something.
We read the information at the trailhead, and it implies maybe that all the rest of them are at other locations. We only found one setup, and it's like the most blatantly obvious like one, and we completely missed it. But there could be more out there, I suppose. But even if you didn't find any, just the hike alone for the view was really cool.
Hell of a hike.
Yeah, hell of a hike.
Let's go back to the campsite. The campsite itself that we had, minus the internet, minus the entertainment that we brought and everything, it was a really nice site.
Mm-hmm.
So it was pretty flat, so you're not gonna have any issues like trying to elevate your tent. You sleep in the top of your car, I sleep in my car. It was great. That's a really, really good spot for a huge group of friends or...
Group camping.
Yeah.
Our particular spot, which we should try to show on the map, had two
fire pits.
Yeah, 2 adjacent campsites that were right next to each other. So if you had a big group of people, I mean, 20 people.
Yeah, you could easily fit about like 10 cars in there without
any problem across the 2 sites.
Yeah.
I would say that most of the spots are a bit exposed, so you're gonna want to have an awning or something to get some shade while you're out there.
One thing we didn't talk about too, bees.
Bees. I don't know if this is just a winter thing, like just this time of year, they're thirsty.
I got stung in the first 15 minutes. Literally the first 15 minutes. I got out of my car, walked around a little bit. I, had a drink, and right as I threw it away, a bee just came in and stung me right on my hand. And it's just like, oh, all right, this is how the next 2 days is gonna be. We'll see how it is.
Yeah, so I never asked you, are you allergic to bees? Like just kind of stuff you don't really think about doing, there you are, like probably an hour or 2 away from the nearest hospital.
We were like, well, I guess we'll both find out.
I guess we'll find out, yeah.
All right, anything else we want to talk about, like in Blair Valley right now?
Probably not so much in Blair Valley, but 20, 30 minutes away from Blair Valley is a quaint little town called Julian, which we discovered.
You know what that town reminded me of is like one of those quintessential Hallmark movie California towns, right? Like
Totally.
you're gonna find a single woman there with her family.
Yeah.
And, like the guy of her dreams. No, he works there.
He works there.
And then-
she's from the big city.
Yeah. And so she's gonna give up her big dream job
Yeah.
for like living in, you know.
Julian. She had a real stressful go at it in San Diego at her marketing job
That's it.
and found her way out to Julian and found a whole lot more than she bargained for.
'Tis the season.
'Tis the season. Yeah. No, it was, so we were leaving the campsite and we needed gas and we wanted a place to stop for breakfast. So we had heard about Julian was famous for apples. And so they're known for apple pie, cider, and such.
I looked up a little bit of the town's history, and just from memory, and I'm sure you're gonna get all of this wrong. Julian was founded in like the late 1800s, and they named it Julian because out of the brothers who founded the town, that was the most like handsome one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was funny. We were like, dude, this place is tiny. It's like Main Street, you know, small town USA
Like
type
20
of thing.
businesses.
Yeah, and 10 of them are pie companies. We were like, oh, we'll go to the pie shop, and then we got to like Main Street, and there was a couple pie places that you could stop at. And then in the surrounding area, there's like 4 or 5 more locations for each of them.
Best apple pie I've ever had. Dutch apple.
The Dutch apple was really good.
That crumbly top. Oh.
You got like 6 different pies,
Yeah.
and that was the best one?
Yeah.
That's good to hear. Because I only bought one pie, and it was the Dutch apple.
Oh,
It's
really?
the one
Yeah,
that you're
that's the
talking
one
about.
to get. Because that crumbly top is so good. Turns out my significant other doesn't really like apple pie that much, so I ate all of them. So good.
Yeah, same thing happened to me. My wife was not really into the pie.
I had a week. It was a pie every night.
Yeah.
For 1 week. straight.
Yeah, I was eating pie for breakfast. Like, wake up in the morning, like, this is normal.
Eat ice cream, milk. It's just like my grandma. She said, "What's the difference?"
Yeah, fruit, carbs, it's all there.
What was your favorite part about this trip?
Yeah, I would say that the trail out there is really good. It's easy as hell to find a camping site, internet access. Driving out to Julian was pretty cool as well. So it was like a cool little way to end the trip.
This was one of my favorite trips, I think.
Yeah, super chill. I would definitely recommend Blair Valley. You don't need to have a 4-wheel drive vehicle. High clearance might be required for getting back to some of the campsites in the very back. What would be your trail rating in terms of easy?
1.
Yeah, it's a 1, definitely easy. There are some parts where maybe the road got washed out a little bit.
Yeah.
And so if you were in a Subaru or something with...
You'll be fine.
You'll be fine, but there may be some spots where you have to think about what you're doing. So don't just like bomb the trail as fast as you can because you're gonna run into some washed out parts. If you got a big group of people, you need a place to go that is warm during the winter and you like apple pie, then check out Blair Valley in Anza Borrego
In Julian, California.
and Julian for some really good pie.
So let's talk about that.
Okay.